everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Alicia Elizabeth and I am so excited that you've decided to join me here today for another YouTube video. If this is your first time here, hello, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey boo hey. To the both of you, as always, grab a snack, get comfortable. I think we're going to be here for a little while. Today I want to discuss emotional maturity and how if you are exercising emotional maturity, you will see them in your relationships or your friendships. Okay, I want to call to your attention 3 examples of many examples, which we can talk about in several other videos, of what emotional maturity looks like. Now, I love, as you all can tell, all things relating to relationships with ourselves, relationships with others. And one thing that always kind of drives me up a wall is when I see people on social media encouraging a narrative of separation and relationship for very simple reasons. And it, of course, makes me really grateful for my long-term relationships, but it also breaks my heart to think about how many of us are alone because we didn't have the tools or the right people in our ear to let us know that, hey, you could actually go about this a different way, right? And so I just want to give you 3 examples, as I said before, of what emotional maturity will look like. And my hope and my prayer is that as you are listening, you get to determine if you are operating in an emotional mature way or if you've been emotionally immature. And my prayer is that this charges you to either continue in the direction you've been going or to abruptly stop and make some changes to keep the relationships that you currently have in your life that you love, want to continue to honor and respect. Okay, so let's start with the definition of emotional maturity. An emotional mature person has reached and continues to work at reaching a level of self-understanding with regards to their thoughts and behaviors, and then decides how to best approach and cope with situations that otherwise might be trying or challenging. And so I know reading it really slow like that can cause a person not to connect it. So I'm gonna read it one more time a little more swiftly. An emotional mature person has reached and continues to work at reaching a level of self-understanding with regards to their thoughts and behaviors. So they've reached a place of understanding when it comes to their thoughts and their behaviors, and then decides how to best approach and cope with situations that outside of being emotionally mature would be trying or challenging. And so based on my research and sitting down and just thinking about the things that I've seen that have been helpful in maintaining long-term relationships, here are 3 things that I want you to think about when you consider your role and your participation in the relationships you're currently in. Number 1, you make room for disappointment. I cannot say this enough. Your friends, your family, your partner, your co-workers, any relationship that you are a part of that you want to last, that you want to maintain the highest level of it being healthy, of it being one that is evolving, one that you want to continue growing in, you have to make room for disappointment. Even if your childhood best friend has never dropped the ball, there needs to be a compartment somewhere in your mental state that says, in some point in time, this person can and will disappoint me. And so I'm going to make room and space and grace in my heart and in my mind for this person to do that. Why? Because they're human. And number 2, because I'm human. And even if I've never dropped the ball, I will in the future. Okay? An emotionally mature person, someone who operates from an emotionally mature place, makes consistent room for disappointment. Now, let me be clear. Making room for disappointment is not making room for your boundaries to be violated. It's not making room for disrespect. It's not making room for mistreatment or anything like that. This is like on the day-to-day basis where maybe they forgot to call you back. Maybe they forgot a commitment that they made. Maybe they said the wrong thing at the wrong time. You know, like actual innocent, not wrapped in malice mistakes. Maybe they didn't call your kids on their birthday. Maybe they didn't come through the way you wanted them to. Making room for disappointment Disappointment means that there was an expectation and it was not met. So now you are disappointed and you didn't expect this from this person. But their bank of deposits in the space carries them over this disappointment. Grace, when you leave from a place of love and when you have grace in your heart for them, it'll carry them over this moment of being disappointed. Number 2, your emotions are useful as a guidance. They're not law and they are not the truth. They're not gospel in this situation. What does this mean? This means that when you're experiencing some type of emotion concerning a person you're in a relationship with, again, romantic, platonic, professional, your parents and family, when you are experiencing some level of emotion towards them or concerning the relationship in the space, you understand that this is not law, that the way you are perceiving what has happened and what is happening is not the only possible way for someone to view the space. And so you are not making how you feel, end of story, bottom line, this is what it is. You're making room for their perspective when you're ready to hear it. And you understand that you are seeing things from one side. When you are operating from an emotionally mature place, you do not allow your emotions to be law. That's not the end of the discussion. It is merely a contribution to the discussion of what's happening in the space. And I'm not saying a contribution to an argument. I'm saying even if it's just a casual conversation like, hey, haven't talked to you much, miss you, I'm concerned. They might be like, hey girl, I'm living my best life. Thought you was living your best life. Thought we would get together soon. They're not concerned. Your emotions and the way you see things is not law. It is not the truth solely. Okay? And number 3, you know how to apologize. I cannot tell you enough how being able to give up your right to be right saves so many relationships. Apologizing does not always mean, and it is not always an indication that you were wrong. As a matter of fact, I believe after you've understood the situation, you're going to apologize simply because of, maybe the damage of feelings being hurt that have taken place, right? Or I'm really sorry that we are not seeing eye to eye on this and that we're coming to this, situation. You can apologize for so many reasons, but when you are an emotionally mature person, you understand that your apology doesn't make you the weaker link in the situation. As a matter of fact, I believe that when you're willing to apologize, it puts out there in the space that I care about this relationship more than I care about this crossroad that we're at. And so when you're emotionally mature, you understand that people can't hear each other when their feelings are hurt. People can't properly perceive what has happened when their trust has been violated, when their emotions are in an uproar, when they have an idea of you that is inaccurate, their perception, of course, is skewed. And so an apology starts to dismantle the walls that are coming up. And so when you are an emotionally mature person, you don't mind apologizing, especially when it comes to a relationship you care about. This means being vulnerable enough to say, I love you so much. I care about this space so much that nothing is that big for us to just fight and be at odds and completely not have a relationship. And I'm willing to apologize because clearly I've done something to hurt you and to harm the space, and that was never my intent. And again, these are 3 things that you do in spaces that, of course, are safe for you, where the love is genuine and reciprocated. I am not encouraging you to try to be an emotionally mature person in a relationship with an abuser, in a relationship with someone who has caused you some trauma that maybe you need to speak with a medical professional about. That is not what I'm encouraging. This is for your day-to-day friendships that have hope and potential to grow. Your family members who are sometimes difficult to maneuver with. Your boss or your coworkers that maybe you have a relationship outside of work. These are 3 things that allow you to look at yourself. Notice I'm not placing any responsibility on the other person. These are all points and suggestions for you to go inward and say, what can I do to enhance this relationship, to help grow this relationship, and to show up in a more emotionally mature way. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to know your thoughts. Did any of these stick out to you as something you need to work on? Are you mastering all three of these things? What are some things that you currently do that you feel like would fall in alignment with being emotionally mature? And I am so excited that you've stayed here to the end. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.